Is it the final nail in the coffin? Things have gone from bad to worse for Conor McGregor as another woman comes forward accusing him of sexual assault and is suing him. And just like the recent trial that Conor McGregor had to sit through, the victim is doing it for the same virtuous reasons as the last one. To raise awareness and encourage others to do the same. And to be a strong, independent woman. And it's totally not about money any way, shape or form. Even though this was already investigated by the police, just like the last case, who found absolutely no evidence. And now we're going after Conor McGregor for some money. Alright. Before we jump into this story, I want to share my new Patreon. Any support is welcome over there. Keeps the show on the road and I'd really appreciate it. Cheers. So Conor McGregor and Miami Heat sued over claims that he tried to rape a woman in a VIP bathroom as security stood and watched. If you actually watched my videos, and I will put a link to it down below, I covered this story and debunked this story probably a year and a half ago. Right around June of last year, I believe. And as it's alluded to in this particular article and in this new particular lawsuit, the woman has gone through 3 or 4 different lawyers before actually landing on James Dunn, the new lawyer, who I guess has become very encouraged by the payout for Nikita Han and decided, you know what, I can make some money out of this. This is going to be awesome. The whole world are piling on Conor McGregor. Why not stick this claim back in there, get a civil case going and make some more money? That's what this stinks of to me. And that is objective, because when you read the article and you hear them false claims of I'm only doing it for the virtuous reason of raising awareness, you're like, okay, so why are you looking for money in a civil case? The alleged incident is said to have taken place immediately after Game 4 of the NBA Finals in June 2023. According to the plaintiff, identified as Jane Doe, McGregor's security separated her from her friend before the Dublin native led the plaintiff into the VIP's bathroom. Arena security allegedly prevented the plaintiff's friend from entering the stall. This story is really bizarre. The woman's actually 49 years old, and if you actually see the video of her that was put out by TMZ, she's a big unit. She's a big unit. And you have to ask questions then, like, of Conor, like, the dude is a superstar. The dude is a millionaire, hundreds of millions in the bank, one of the most famous men on the planet. Surely he can do better than that in terms of birds, but we've also seen him hanging out with little midgies as well, so you just never know with Conor, do you? And at the time of this initial lawsuit, which the police investigated and just said absolutely not, no evidence, in the aftermath of that, we covered the story. Myself and Jesse on Fire talked a lot at the time, and the two of us did a couple of videos, and I think we even did a stream together talking about it. That's why when this new case arose, I wasn't surprised, but I was kind of looking at it going, okay, so you've changed the narrative over the last 12 to 15 months in terms of the victim, Jane Doe. Now all of a sudden she's like a high-powered Wall Street senior president of a Fortune 500 company or something. The question that I asked immediately when I read that was, if that was the case, why were you initially hiring a lawyer with such a dodgy, sinister, dark past like Ariel Mitchell? This was the first lawyer for Jane Doe who tried to sue Conor McGregor back in June 2023. And when we covered this lawsuit back then, the stories coming out of that lawyer's camp were insane. She had a track record of suing large profile celebrities, and none of them made it to court and none of them ended up in any sort of conviction. This high-powered senior vice president on Wall Street hired some black chick who had a history of bribery, of carrying weapons, of smelling of weed within courthouses and within meetings amongst her peers and clients. Numerous articles were written about women who testified that this attorney representing Trey Songz's alleged victim offered up to $200,000 to lie about him in a sexual assault case. So that's why my eyebrows were raised when I read this new article about this new lawsuit and Conor McGregor was finally going to get put down again in this civil all about money trial. Okay, because Jane Doe is being painted as some sort of high-rolling independent woman who don't need no man, but the first lawyer that you hired was pretty much more of a criminal than anyone else that she's ever tried to prosecute. Why would you hire her? Surely if you're a high roller in lower Manhattan on the Wall Street circuit, you could come up with a better attorney or a better lawyer than that, right? And then you go through 2 more and now we're on to the 4th, and now we have a brand new claim that is all about raising awareness. Oh my god. Not to mention, just like the last civil case, when you actually hear the stories, there's talks of arm locks, there's talks of people using the bathroom in front of Conor McGregor. This 49-year-old high-rolling Wall Streeter rolls into the toilet, pulls down her pants and starts going to the toilet in front of Conor McGregor. Again, these stories are bizarre. We know that Conor likes to party. This person might be a high roller. You know, if she's from Wall Street, she might be a high roller. She might have some really high-grade party stuff. Maybe that's what they were doing in the bathroom. Because when you see the videos of her, as I said, she ain't no slim chicken. After Jane Doe used the bathroom and allegedly intoxicated McGregor attempted to forcefully place his unprotected penis into the woman's mouth. Without her consent, she attempted to leave the stall but was slammed against the wall face first, according to the filing. McGregor is also accused of putting her in an arm lock and spitting on her. So again, we're back into that scenario where there's arm locks, there's rear naked chokes. Did he talk about Khabib Nurmagomedov during this altercation in the stall with this 49-year-old high-rolling vice president from New York? Maybe that would have added that extra element of believability to this story. And here's one of the most important parts of this story, just like the last story, but just like the last story, I'm sure it will be swept under the rug and the public at large won't actually be told about it. The allegations were previously made public, but they did not result in another arrest for the troubled 36-year-old McGregor as Miami police decided against pursuing the charges. Okay. If we are giving credit to the police forces of Miami, if we're giving credit to the police forces of Ireland, and we expect them to be efficient in their workplace, then they can't find any sort of evidence to pursue the case, but going through 3 or 4 different lawyers, one of which is an extremely pernicious criminal herself, is a better route to take to produce that virtuous "let's raise awareness" quote that is in every single article talking about this lawsuit. After a thorough investigation at the time, the state's attorney concluded that there was no case to pursue. Almost 2 years later and 3 lawyers later, the plaintiff has a new false story. This is a quote from Conor McGregor's lawyer. Very interesting quote, something that I would agree with 100%. This story is all over the place. If I was to make a prediction, I would say that the conviction will come from a jury of his peers if it actually makes it that far, and we will have a multitude of more women coming out wanting to produce beautiful virtue and wanting to raise awareness, and the money is just something that's on the side of that. Of course, that's not the main reason that they would do it. It's all about virtue, raising awareness and being independent, and they will become more emboldened by the fact that he was convicted in a civil court, an oxymoron to be honest with you, and also from the hearing this week where he wasn't allowed to disseminate the CCTV footage, which is his legal right to do. And when you actually look into the laws of Ireland, if you appear in CCTV footage, you're allowed to have that footage. That's what Conor McGregor wanted to do, I guess, to bolster his story. But it didn't work out because the system went against him this week, and he was told by Justice Alexander Owens that you're not allowed to have that footage, you must give back that footage and you must delete everything from your computer. Predicted that during the week talking about this case, and I predict a lot more heat coming down on Conor McGregor from virtue signalers, from money grabbers, and from just the general haters out there. Let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe hit like, subscribe and share if any of it made sense. Cheers.